Hello, Internet. I have some cool stories to talk to you about today. Some interesting research being done on huge killer beasts that used to inhabit the world. I don't know why this stuff interests me so much, but it really does. I'll start with one that we all know about, the T-Rex, Tyrannosaurus Rex, known as the king of the dinosaurs. It was really cool. They actually found out that the T-Rex is way bigger than they had previously thought. They used scaling models in the past that weren't always accurate to try and determine the size of the T-Rex, and so they finally were like, okay, we're gonna redo this all. We're gonna do it the right way, and we're gonna figure out actually how big these things were. So they took four different fossils of T-Rexes, the most complete fossils that exist in the world, and they used a scanning device, like a 3D scanner, to scan each of the bones and then recreate the T-Rex digitally, and then they can put a skin on it and estimate the volume of the dinosaur's body. And this is and then once they get the volume, by figuring out muscle density, they can come up with a weight. But here's the thing, the big T-Rex that they used, and his name's Sue. He's named after the person that found him, but his head was so big that they couldn't scan it. The skull was so big that the equipment couldn't scan it. It's 3 meters by 5 meters, just the head. It's so big. It's so big it could eat a car in 1, maybe 2 bites. My car, that's a snack size portion for a T-Rex. Crazy. Okay, so they couldn't scan the head because it was so big, so they took it to Ford Motor Company and put it in the scanning device machine thing that they use for engines. So I just thought okay, anyways, previous models put the T-Rex's weight between 4.5 and 6 tons. A ton. I can't even imagine how big a 4.5 to 6 ton creature would be. And then the new measurements that are definitely accurate are just yeah, no, he's 9 tons. What? 9 freaking ton dinosaur? Jeez. Okay, and then the other one, I don't know if you guys have heard about it's kind of a mythology, a mythological creature known as the Kracken. If you're at all a StarCraft fan, then you know of this story because Greg Fields, aka Idra, goes by, has the popular nickname of the Kraken, or the Kraken. They call him the Kraken for Greg Kraken. The Kraken. Release the Kraken. Okay. If you're not following that, whatever. But, okay, the Kraken was this Greek mythology, huge squid that lived underwater, just could pull a ship down at its will. Just giant, the biggest squid you could ever even imagine, could pull a carrier underwater. Okay, that's the story, the myth behind the Kraken. Okay, well, come to find out, these researchers have actually publicly made a statement that they think that they found the lair of the real Kraken. What? Okay, and how they support this is they've noticed with squids specifically, they've noticed that squids when they kill a creature, they'll often bring it back to their den. They often have a den. They'll bring in creatures, a lot of them, and they'll, do what they have to do to consume however they do. But what they've observed is that squids will play with the skeletons and animals that they've brought to their lair, and they'll like move them around and place them and just kind of like arrange them in a specific way, like in their lair. So they found this like huge like lair for like a squid-ish lair, and what lined the bed is the skeletons of this animal, this underground animal that I can't pronounce the name of, but they're supposedly like 100 feet long and have huge teeth, but they actually breathe air. But there's like at least a dozen skeletons of this same monstrous animal at the bottom of this like lair. And they're noticing that the vertebrae on the bottom like look like they've been picked up and put down by a squid several times, and like these things are like 100 feet long. And it said that the ribs are more ribs are cracked than usual, which makes them think that, you know, they were like wrapped up by a squid and like squeezed, and that some of them have like their neck twisted. So like the Kracken, this like gigant underwater squid of destroying everything, is like they actually found evidence of a real Kraken lair where like the previously largest known underwater thing, there's like 10 of them skeletons, where this like Kraken, I don't know. Okay, so that's the stories. Links in the sub bar. Craziness. T-Rex is like 9 tons, and the Kraken actually exists. Yes. See you tomorrow.